Hello and welcome to the Inner Game of Smash. I'm Mr. Tuesday, and we have our host, fellow host Theo or Scribble,
Hello.
and special guest and rising Falco star.
Nice.
Oh, 1 second. Yeah, PJ Rushido.
That was pretty close to how do you pronounce my name.
Is it? Oh, did
Well,
I?
all right. In Italian, which is how it's supposed to be pronounced, it's technically like Ruscito. But in like
Ruscito.
English, in English, I just say Ruscito because it makes sense. But yeah, what's up?
So you're part of the up and coming flock of birds that are kind of taking over New England Melee. What is up with that, by the way? Where did all you guys come from?
I've been here for like a year, and like slightly longer than a year. Big Foig, or what's the other dude? Joy Boy. I think Joy Boy's been playing for like 4 years and just recently resurged to like Melee because he had to quit for a little bit. And who's the other one? Oh, Big Foig. How can I forget?
Yeah, Big Foig and Heart, and you.
I have no idea what's up with Big Foig. But Heart's good. He's been playing for a long time too.
I beat Heart too.
Wait, what?
Sick life, Theo.
Nice. But who didn't you beat, Theo?
DJ,
The Falco that's here and that other Falco.
Yeah, there were like 4 Falcos in top 9.
You
Yeah.
had to say top 9 because
Top 9. Because someone here busted out and didn't make top 8.
I postured so hard.
The answer was also me.
Ha.
Yeah.
Seventh
Actually, I
place.
lost to the other co-host that's not here tonight.
Oh.
Again?
Yeah,
Mm.
not Zoso.
Oh, man. I don't think we even count him
Yeah.
at this point, like, when
I-
we lose to him. It's just like,
Oh,
oh, that's just the thing that happens.
It's pretty much an
So-
inevitability.
Who is Big Foie? He just like showed up out of nowhere. Like,
Le
who is
Big
this
Foie?
guy? Who is he? Is he
I-
like some? Is he from Harvard? Is he from BU? Is he a college student? Is he from space?
I don't know the least about him. Yeah.
I think with a name as good as Big Foig, he has to be from space, right? Like, that is possibly my favorite tag. It's even better because he goes to Harvard, right? So it's
He does go to Harvard.
He does go to Harvard.
Okay.
So other people that go to Harvard are like have names like Clue or YCJ, right? Like names
Clue's
that
pretty
respectable
good.
sounding that you would think would be Harvard type tags. But no, he's just the biggest of Foigs.
He
Foig
might.
is so big. I got Big Foig last night. I'm proud to admit it.
Dude, everybody got Big Foig.
Oh,
All of us.
man.
Wait.
It's
All of us
sweeping
here
the
got
nation.
Big Foie.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't get Big Foig.
So has he been playing for? Like, he kind of came out of nowhere, right? I don't think I've seen him at a tournament ever.
Well, I used to go to the Harvard locals, and he'd always be there. He was considered for a long time to be the second best player from Harvard to Clue, but recently Clue was like, "Nah, Foig is better than me now," and I'm like, "Okay,
Wow.
sure." And then we
Foig
played,
is
and,
looking nice.
yeah, and then he got really, really good.
So he was just training in secret at Harvard, joining the Skull and Bone Society, training in secret underground, and
That's
seems
Yale.
to pay off.
Well, if he's the first extraterrestrial that's ever came to Earth, we don't know what kind of practice he has actually.
That's true.
The truest of space animals.
But he does cool stuff. So I'll be happy if the aliens take over because he definitely makes the world more fun.
Yeah, I concur. Foig is like gigantic.
It's funny because I feel like we haven't seen any Falcos do well in New England besides Matt in a long time.
Yeah.
And then yesterday we were just
Thorn.
like, it was duck season, right? We were just infested with these fowl everywhere. I think I played them like 3 of my rounds.
That was me ironically saying yeah because I've been here for like 6 months.
Sorry to cry. We give you props whenever you do well, PJ.
Have you done well, PJ? Like ever?
I think my best placement's the same as Big Foig, so I think it's 5th.
Okay,
There was
that's
that
all
doubles
right.
Run you had.
What did you say?
The doubles run you had was the.
Oh, that's true.
of-
Me and Sai got 3rd in doubles. It was actually the like best moment of my life.
I
Me and
think
Sai,
I think it was because of the ode to Cupid. He gave you power.
me and Sai are like soul, like we're like soul partners, you know, for life in melee doubles. We do love Cupid, dude. Oh, what are we actually supposed to talk about tonight?
Oh yeah. So today, on the topic list, so their first topic is going to be tournament nerves. So we've all been
Ooh.
victim to this. So most of us in the chat and here were probably victim of it last night.
Mm.
Just because it's something that always happens, right?
Mhm.
So, PJ, what are your thoughts? Are you a choke artist? And if you are, then how do you think you should stop? And if you aren't, then tell us your secrets.
anecdote. I think that I choke more the more like if I put like a ridiculous amount of pressure on myself, I choke a lot more. Like I played Torsional Strain last night on stream, and I beat him, but because I complained about my seating to Colin earlier that day, and I was on stream, I put so much more pressure on myself, and I think I like missed every single edge guard in our set,
Cool.
and I was like super nervous. But I feel like a lot of the time, the best way to avoid like really bad tournament nerves is like just kind of get into a state where you're completely focused on the game and not like that's I think that's the hard for me. That's one of the hardest parts about Melee, being able to like tap in and out of a constant focus on the game and nothing else around you, not like the set results or like what's gonna happen if you lose this and how like you're gonna get made fun of for being 15 and getting like 33rd. So I think that's like probably the most important thing that you could do, just like focus completely on the game.
So that taking your mind off of it, I think, is definitely the number one way to choke away a set. Like, oh, I'm up 3 stocks to 1. All I got to do is take this 1 stock, and I've beaten this good player, and I've upset him, and I'll be a god. And the moment you're thinking about that, you're not thinking about how to beat him, right? You're just thinking about having beaten him. So I think that's really scary. So for me, I don't know if I'm a choke artist or not. It's hard to tell. Like everyone, I think like everyone wants to be clutch, but no one thinks that they are clutch, except for like a couple of people. So my thinking is, well, first of all, everyone definitely plays differently on the last stock, right? I think that's true for no matter how good you are, unless you're like a robot, which means you're like one of 2 people, and that's Muta King Armada. You're just gonna play.
Makes sense though, from like a game theory perspective, not even just like a your mind's going crazy perspective, right? Because like dying now means so much more than dying at any other point.
Yeah, I think I throw out at least 40 auto cancel back airs on last stock if I'm nervous.
Yeah, you do. You go to the safest option, right? You do the safe thing. So I have a joke that I only play well on my last stock because I'm way too aggro most of the time, and it's like the only time when getting hit matters, right? Oh, I have 2 more stocks. Oh, I have 2 more stocks. Oh crap! This is my only stock.
Well, because it's like plus EV to go for something in certain situations, right? But when it's like a 40% chance to instantly lose, that's a lot worse than 40% chance to take 10%. So
yeah, no side B edge cancels on the side of Yoshi into down air on
that's how Westballs wins all his clutch situations.
But that's never last. Yeah, but Westballs is crazy.
He did that he beat Lucky at Big House like that.
That's true.
Oh, that was the saddest set of my life.
But Westballs is so cool, and Lucky's he's pretty cool too, actually.
Lucky's pretty cool.
Lucky's super cool. Lucky plays cooler than Westballs like 90% of the time, but Westballs' punishes are so ridiculous that it's just like it's just like unreal.
So do you think Westballs gets nervous? I don't think he gets nervous. When you watch him play?
I don't think Westballs has ever played a close set in his life.
What does that even mean?
I'm gonna counter that and say there's a set from I think the Summit where he plays and loses to Dr. Peepee where he could have won the set 5 times. He jabs him as Marth. He jabs Peepee's Marth like last stock, super high percent, and instead of just going to a back air that would have 100% killed, he tries to shine back air him at 180%. And it's obviously not gonna work because he's gonna go too far from the shine. But he goes for it like 4 times and he loses.
I remember this set now.
So I'm convinced that kind of screw up isn't because you're nervous, but in fact because you're not nervous enough. I actually think that's a real thing, where you're just not nervous enough, so you try and swag. And I think that Westballs has this more than anyone else in the world, like literally on the planet. But also, I just don't think he's like scared, right? Like I don't see the fear. He's just doing his thing.
He's just like tending the circus.
Yeah, exactly. Tending the circus. That's such a good way to put it. But at the same, so I think being a little scared is good for you, right? Especially if you're Falco. How do Falcos not always terrified?
I am always terrified.
Because you just die.
It's actually I think one of the most interesting things is not only being able to not be scared, but like you said, being able to like actually care about what's going on the screen. Because I think for a while personally, I used to say that like, oh, like I play better against good players, but then I realized I actually just play better when I care about what's going on and I'm like paying attention, like focused really hard. Because like I feel like there's sometimes when there's a better chance of me losing to like a player that's like around my skill level, just because I can't get the same kind of thing that I care about when I'm playing against like a top level player when I like really want to beat them.
So, I think I had that exact problem yesterday, PJ. I found myself thinking about not melee too much while playing melee, and I know that's bad, right? And it
Yes.
wasn't. It was just like a problem throughout the day, and I don't know. Maybe it's because I was tired. Maybe it's because I want to practice for pound, and I was like, gotta practice really hard. But what do you do to try and stop doing that? Because it definitely I got in my own head a lot, and that's bad. I don't want to do that.
That is definitely something that I struggle with too.
Okay.
Good
Well,
talk, everyone. So I think that motivation is almost entirely discipline. So I guess we're kind of discussing the other side of nerves right now, rather than what most people classically think about when they discuss nervousness, which is not being nervous enough. If that makes any sense, like you don't have enough hype in you to care and
It's
play.
almost like boredom in a way. I don't want to say I'm bored, but it's like I just can't concentrate on what I want to.
Yeah, sometimes you just can't care enough, and that
Yeah,
definitely.
I 100% agree.
That's how I feel every time I play Sheik, right? Sometimes you just can't, right?
That's how I feel every time I play a Falco Ditto. I stop caring about melee and I start thinking about how stupid the Falco Ditto is every
Yes.
time. It's like
Absolutely.
it's like I'm not looking at the screen. It's actually incredible.
But I think I think you fix that in a lot of the same ways you fix the other problem of being too nervous and not being able to do what you're doing. And I think that's a large part to do with discipline, right? Because if you watch the best players in the world, who I'm sure they get nervous just like everyone else, right? Like, there's no way that Dr. PP isn't nervous in front of like 100,000 people. Or like, I don't know how many people are on Twitch. But that's about right, right? But they're so disciplined, and they play just as hard against bad players as they do when there's so much pressure on them. And I think it's so much discipline. And I've been thinking about this a lot because this is a consistency issue that I have, and I know that a lot of people have, where you just lose to players you think that you shouldn't lose to because it's not even disrespect, but it's the feeling of entitlement, right? Like the feeling that, maybe I should be beating this player, so I don't have to go 110%. And then you don't, and then you lose because the player you're playing is actually good. So yeah, I think that's definitely part of it.
What do you mean, like, exactly by discipline?
It's the ability to muster within yourself, always going as hard as you can, right? Like, always leaving it all on the field. Like, to risk quoting, like, a football coach or whatever, like, always go hard, leave 110% out there, right? Like, to always do that. And that's how you get really good, and that's how you never get upset, by always playing as hard as you possibly can all the time. And if you're always putting that pressure on yourself every set, then when you are playing someone that you feel you have to step it up for, you've already been there. So
Wouldn't that tire you out really quickly if you do it for every set?
I think you do, but then you have to up your stamina, right? It's not
So
easy.
you do it to practice. It's like a very, very long-term thing.
Yeah, it's absolutely. I mean, tournaments are exhausting, right? I looked at my bracket on this random New Hampshire tournament on Saturday, and I played 9 best of 5s. Like, if you get
That's a lot.
knocked early, that's just the thing that can happen to you. But if you're playing your hardest, like, maybe you'll burn out by the end of that tournament, but go to enough of them and do enough of it, and you'll stop burning out.
I have a question.
Yes.
I personally think that from my own experiences, sometimes it's like, it's not that, it is definitely like I feel entitled to this win, or like I don't have to try against this player, but part of me, like, I can't even, like, it's not like I'm not disciplined enough, I can't get myself to focus like that. Like, in friendlies, I get destroyed in friendlies by good players, and then I actually play them in tournament and do infinitely better, because I just, a lot of the time, really can't focus myself. I struggle, like, not that, like, I don't want to focus, but, like, even if I try, I just can't get myself there if I'm not playing against a good player.
I hear that, and I totally have been there. Like, there's some days where you just can't play. And I think that the correct response there is to, if you really, really can't do it, I think you should stop, or play a secondary, or just like mess around. Like that's it might be a cop out answer, but if you literally can't, you tried everything, I think that's probably the best thing to do. But beyond that, I think you just have to make yourself, right? Like it's not easy, but you have to make yourself be good. Like you have to make yourself try hard, and sometimes you can't, right? Like there are some days where you're just not having it. But if you really want the most out of your sessions, you have to be trying to beat this person as hard as you can, as much as possible.
Yeah, it's a really interesting concept.
Yeah.
It's because it's like I feel like it's like kind of different person to person, and it's just like really hard to explain and work on.
Yeah. I mean, physically, you can only. I don't know if you can trick your body into getting an adrenaline rush, or to, like
You
trick
can use
yourself.
caffeine. That works.
Drugs. That's the answer.
You can illegally buy like straight adrenaline and inject it into your body, and that would be
That
scary.
seems like a
but-
very short-term solution.
Yeah. I mean, drugs aren't the answer to everything. What?
Well, adrenaline, because like that only lasts like 10 minutes tops.
That's like an EpiPen, right? That's literally
Yeah.
an EpiPen.
It would also be a horrible idea.
Oh yeah.
think-
Don't
I don't
do
know.
this. Do not
Like,
do this.
Racer's gonna come to the next tournament with a melon and a needle full of
Yeah.
adrenaline.
Oh god.
But you can also just like do things to make your life like what those drugs do to you. So like getting more sleep, exercising more, that like can help simulate the effects of caffeine by making you more energetic, more awake. I don't know. I guess practicing is really good at helping. So what do you do when like you're really, really scared you're going to lose? Because I think, let's see, last set where I was super scared. I can't remember, but I remember I was super scared playing PJ, not this time, but like 5 times ago, before he'd ever beat me, but like he almost beat me, and I was super scared.
I've almost beat
I
Theo
somehow
in
won,
incredible
but I don't think that was
times.
because like I conquered my nerves. I think PJ just played terrible at the end, but like
That
I can't
happens.
rely on that, right? So I haven't figured out what to do. I don't get super scared very often, but I haven't really had to work on it. But I haven't really figured out a way to stop that. I don't know if that happens.
I think it all ties into the same idea of just like focusing on absolutely nothing but what's going on the screen, and I don't know how. I think it's really just like you have no. Wait, give me a sec.
All right.
Hello?
I'll pick it up from there. So what happens when I get like so?
No, sorry, I'm
oh,
back.
go on, go on.
Oh, I think it. What was I talking about? I think it plays into the same idea of like completely focusing on the game, and I think that's something that really you just need to make sure that your like outside life is like in good shape, like you're exercising or eating well, you have a good energy, so like you're not like there's aren't other things that might make you tired, and that like you or like maybe you like have your perfect dose of caffeine that you like measured out that you know what helps you for melee, and just like make sure everything's perfect because
That's
I don't
what
know.
Hugs does.
I don't know any other way to really like stop yourself from getting scared if you
Mhm.
can't focus than just like making sure that you won't like stop focusing.
That's a good point.
So I have a really good strat for dealing with what I call the chokesies, where both players are just last stock, last game, game 10 of grand finals, like just flubs
Play
everywhere,
Peach and
right?
throw out down smash.
Yeah, pick Peach. That's a really good strategy.
Oh my god, Peach is the best clutch character in the
Peach
game.
is
It's
so
ridiculous.
clutch. I think it's actually Ice Climbers that are more clutch.
I
Um,
think it's Peach.
yeah, but
I don't know.
So-
Yeah.
So, that's kind of like a joke answer, but in actuality, if you feel yourself like so jumpy that you can't do anything, you need to figure out how to be able to make your character do the things you want it to do.
Mhm.
And if that means you don't go for the crazy tech that you practice for 20 hours a week, because you suddenly can't do it because of whatever reason, because of these horrible nerves getting to you, I think you have to cut that out and play a simpler game and go back to what you can do and auto cancel bear. Or do whatever it is, because everyone gets the nerves.
Treating FC fair.
Yeah, everyone gets the jitters.
I feel like the problem with that is I think that works to some level, but I feel like when I'm playing like an actual incredibly good player and I'm like doing really well, if I get nervous, a lot of the times those like really safe options just won't work. Like maybe I feel like they are good enough to know how to get around it and just kind of flame me for it when I lose.
Like,
Yeah.
no one's found one move in Melee yet that's, like, literally unbeatable. So, like, you're getting hard red, right? And they have good enough execution to punish those, like, super hard to deal with moves and options. So I
Really
guess the
so
real
hard.
plan is, so what you can either do is force yourself to get scared a lot and then actively change your scared mindset to do something slightly weird and not, or start getting scared and then you'll actually mix up things, I guess.
I think you have to. I like what you had for the first idea because I don't think stop being
Yeah.
is really an option, right? Like we're human
Yeah.
beings. We can't,
Mm-hmm.
as much as emotional control as we can muster, we're just gonna get this. It's physically a fact of life, especially when we're playing a game as cool and as important as Melee.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just gotta go all in and like, especially when you're like mounting a huge comeback. It's like you have to feel. Wow, I don't know how to put this into words. It's
Howard's just too philosophical for us.
Howard, have you
can't-
ever made a comeback?
I have made a lot of comebacks.
Okay.
I made that sick comeback on TN the other week.
Did you? Okay, nice job.
That's
I've
fun.
also made 6 comebacks on TN.
Yeah, it's a thing. I'm capable of comebacks, even in hard comeback matchups. Anyways, so it's like you have to be able to recognize not only when you're nervous and adjust your play according to your emotions, but I think you have to also recognize when your opponent is nervous. Because if your opponent isn't nervous and you are, you're probably going to lose, right? I think that's just a fact, right? Like if they're as good as you are and you're playing like way too nervous badly, it's like if they're picking consistently better options than you, you have to either get on their level or you have to like make them down to your level and make them nervous too.
Howard, I hear some rumors that you are very prone to tilt to somebody playing on the fact that you're nervous, like taunting when you get like destroyed or something.
That usually doesn't happen to me. People say that because Theo taunts me and then he beats me, but I'm pretty sure he'll beat me even if he didn't taunt me. And
Yeah, I think the taunt like actively hurts me most of the time.
yeah, I think I don't think taunting actually works on me.
I try to taunt as often as possible on stream.
Falco's taunt
It's
is
so hard to taunt with
bad.
Falco though.
It takes like a year.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I tilt for completely unrelated reasons. I tilt when if someone's trying to. This is completely off topic, but if someone is actively trying to tilt me and I know it, it doesn't work. But if I feel like they did something really dumb and I let them get away with it, I go on tilt. Like, and they didn't do it on purpose.
And that's kind of like a way of choking, right? It's because now,
Yeah.
now you're angry, and it's similar to being nervous, right? Because now it's like too much blood flow instead of too little blood flow, and just go crazy.
I think another off-topic anecdote. One of me and Theo's sets, the only one of the only 2 that I've won, was we were playing, and the entire set was dictated by taunts.
Oh
It was-
yeah,
There was like 9
Wait,
of I
that was
recommend
the first set you beat me too, though.
it was.
awesome.
I recommend watching it. It's actually incredible.
You guys are such busters.
Yo, I take this game so seriously all day.
You know who
Yeah,
the
it's
king
hot.
of taunts is actually? It's Arl. Rhyme
His
now.
taunts are really good.
There was this one set. I can't remember who it was. It's actually for the best. That I don't remember who it was because he got freaking destroyed. He took a game from Arl, and then he like took a then in game 3. He took a stock, right, and he taunted. And then Arl just like down smash, taunt, down smash, taunt, down smash, taunt, and he ran into every single down smash, and he kept doing it. It was a true combo. Down smash, taunt into edge guard. It was
That's
amazing,
sick.
and he did it like 5 times, and it never stopped working. I think
That's so fun.
that for that one taunt, Arl taunted him like 8 times in response.
Oh, that's
You
brutal.
can't
Yeah.
be the second last taunter, because that means you've lost at like the honor game. It's like losing fights in hockey. Even though it doesn't really matter, it really, really matters.
But you can also win the set and then taunt them in real life on Twitter or something.
That's true.
I'm
Okay,
not a-
wait. Yo, BVB was mean to me because I lost a set to him from SDing, and then he pops off. Like, who does that? That's
Popping
so
off,
mean.
I think popping off is stupid in general.
Real life taunts are so BM.
No, I think
I don't-
they're funny. I think they're funny mid set because I like being BM. But I think after the set, if you're a real baller, you never pop off.
Cool guys don't look at explosions.
Thank you, Howard.
Sometimes you can't help yourself with the pop off though, right? It's just the physical reaction. You just gotta do it.
That's true.
We've all jumped up into the air after winning a super insane set. I think most of us have. Some of us might not.
I never have, and
You
I've won some nice sets. Let it be known.
But you've never jumped up. Really?
Never.
I feel like you're a very impressionable young man, and you're like
I'm a very
excited-
animated person.
yeah.
But I every time I win a big set, I fist bump them. I walk away, and I go, cool. That's it. That's how I approach Melee.
I'll be excited and then I'll fist bump because, like, I don't know. I have probably because I'm nervous, and then the tension goes away.
Yeah. So I don't think any of the people in this chat are particularly big chokers. In particular, but there are definitely some people that are they completely regardless, excuse me, of their skill level, they just seem to always choke it last stock, right? There are some really good players that have choking problems, like as good as top 10 in the world, and we've all seen them. I'm not going to name them. I may name a top player because, you know, whatever weird say is going to hurt their feelings, but it's just some people choke and some people don't.
Like Mango.
Like Mango is not a choker, probably.
He's been choking all these tournaments.
I'm gonna have to disagree a little bit. I think there's definitely players that rarely choke or choke much less or are more in control of their fears, so when they start choking, they don't let it affect them as badly. But every single good player, I watch a lot of Melee, every single good player I've seen choke like badly at least once.
Yeah, everyone chokes, right? Some people are just more susceptible to it than others, right?
Yeah.
So I think that if everyone here was like, I'm only going to choke one more time in my life, that would be pretty okay. But so I think the goal is to limit it to like 0 to 1 times in the future, or just like make it to the point where you don't choke as much. Because we all feel it, and it's like you have to find that space maybe to be able to figure it out. I'm a huge fan of the platform. I think we've talked about the Respawn platform a lot.
Yeah.
I think that's like my favorite thing.
I like to spam roll with just my right hand with R and the C stick, and then use my left hand to like wipe my head, and then that usually like freaks me out enough to like switch my mindset because like I'm playing with one hand.
What? That's so next level.
Because you can mix up roll left and right and spot dodge and hold shield, so that's usually good enough. You can probably like outplay them for like 3 seconds like that, and then you just did something crazy and only had to use one hand, so now you got this. That's one.
As crazy as that sounds, I think you're onto something. Just
I don't.
not in that in particular, but just do something completely bonkers, right? Like if your rhythm isn't working, then do something that's not your rhythm. Because we all know that moment where you're like, oh man, Fox just won't do anything I tell him to do. Oh god, I'm gonna die. Right? We've all been there.
Yes.
But roll is pretty easy to do.
roll is a friend to all.
Unless you get red rolling and then you die anyways.
Well, I think some people, I hear so many people ask, like, what do I have for options instead of rolling, or like, why like do all my rolls get punished? And it makes them think roll is bad, but their roll timing is just bad.
Ah.
If you can vary your roll timing and like know when it's good to roll and when it's not, rolling is literally incredible.
Rolling's
So good.
I wish Fox had a good roll.
Fox's roll is really bad. Falco's roll is so far. How is he's so slow and have such a good roll?
Dude, because he had to give me something besides Dare and Shine, and every single other one of Falco's amazing moves.
No one's super broken, right? Like, Marth is slow. She can't dash dance. Fox can't roll. And Falco can't go fast. So all the
Marth
four
isn't
good characters.
slow.
No character's both fast and has a good roll. So,
Isn't it?
except
Doc-
for she,
Doc
but
has a
she
good
can't
roll.
dash dance. And Doc is slow.
Is he? I guess he is.
Who?
So we need a quick panic option tier list. Like the rolls, like down smashes, spot dodges.
So Mewtwo roll.
Down smash is number
And
one. Can we?
Mewtwo roll is super good.
Let's pick real characters.
Okay,
I don't-
Sheik roll.
Sheik Roll, I think, is like the number one panic option,
Yeah.
but it's everyone's reading it too. So
Or
And it's also like what you can like. Peach's roll isn't the best, but then she has down smash out of roll, so that like helps in.
it's
Whereas
the one
Fox's
combo.
spot dodge shine is really good, and his
Oh,
roll
spot dodge
shine
shine.
is like okay just because of the shine, right? The roll is bad, but then the shine helps make up for it. So it's like not even just the panic option, unless it's just down smash with Peach. There's not really much thought after the down smash. Usually,
trying to think of good panic options, and they all take me back to Peach. Like,
Yeah, well, like the panic
full
options
shield
for
and then
Falco,
Nair.
yeah, panic options for Falco is like wave dash out of shield back air, right? Like they're all hard.
they're bad. No, Falco. That's the thing, right? Falco doesn't
roll.
have that. Like, he can't like just edge somebody out, even though he's nervous because he has the lead. Like, you have to do something to get your opening. But
You
like,
can
Peach,
laser till 200, then jab back air.
I can't do that. But Peach, you can just trade with them like 30 times and win.
It's great.
Horrible.
Yeah. Peach is definitely a bad character to be nervous against. But
For
there's
sure.
no good characters to be nervous against. There's just worse
Yeah.
characters to be
Like
nervous
if
against.
your opponent is competent and can control their character, like you're just screwed if you're nervous, basically. It just like the Peach and like Sheik and Ice Climbers. If you're
Oh,
both
wobbling,
nervous,
an
so
amazing
lame.
panic option.
Yes, just kill them. That's a pretty good one.
You can wobble longer to calm yourself down. Or it's great.
Yeah, Numbers does that. He was talking about how he takes every time he wobbles as
Mhm.
like a godsend to reset for the next game, and like think.
Huh. That's pretty smart. That's a cool idea.
Yeah, and think on your opponent's time. So if you're getting wobbled, you should do the same thing.
I try and practice wobbling while I get wobbled.
I,
Because at least
I-
I'm learning something, right?
I try to hit my controller at like an awkward rhythm. It never works. But I always try because I don't want to like sing because that's like 2 BM. but I try, even though I've considered it many times. But I try to like tap my controller really loudly at like a weird rhythm.
Oh.
All right. Are we?
Well, what do you guys think is going to happen at Battle of the Five Gods?
That already happened.
Okay, what do you guys
PP
think
is
of-
going to get exposed as not a god.
Damn.
I think that may have happened. I think Mewtwo and PP. I mean, they got demoted on Tathokin's latest list, right?
This is. I think that list that Tapkins released is fair because it's like it's more focused on like it's almost like seasonal based. It's like what's
2016.
happening right now.
Yeah.
But I think if you're really gonna make like a legacy tier list, like that like includes like what I don't think it's fair to like demote them that far. Yeah.
I mean, PP won a whole bunch of Apexes and a whole bunch
Yeah.
of other really big tournaments. He's still one of the most accomplished, top 5 most accomplished active players in the world, right?
Uh-huh.
No one's disputing that. But I think he's looking awful mortal for a god right now.
This is
Yeah.
true. I
And
think
he's
if,
taking another break, right? So that's who knows when he'll come back.
I think he's finally catching up to him, right? Like, he was the man on the mountain for so long, and he went off into his mountain for 6 months. He came down and he won Apex, and then he disappeared again, and then he graced us with his presence at Apex again, and then he won, and then he left, right? But I think you only get 2 of those. I don't think you get
Yeah.
any more. I think you lose up. Like, you can go a long time without playing and still get better, kind of, so to speak, right? Like, as your knowledge accumulates. But eventually, the first derivative drops down and you start, like, declining. And I think we've passed that point. And I think if PP wants to make it back on top, he's going to need to go to everything and put in a lot of work.
That's interesting. I think that I think PP especially if Plup wants to like cement himself above Mewtwo and PP, I think like to really prove that he has to like at least get grand finals at a super major, right? Because I don't think he's ever made it that far.
Not
And-
unless you're...
Boo Pluck?
Plup. I think
Oh,
Plup.
sorry,
Yeah.
sorry. I thought you meant PP.
No,
Yeah,
I think if Plup wants to cement himself, he has to at least get grand finals or win one, unless Mewtwo and PP get like actually really bad.
Yeah.
TP did really bad Battle of the Five Gods.
He did do pretty bad. If he like has another performance like that, then I'm definitely on board. But I think if PP like comes strong next tournament, and like Plup still hasn't proven that he can like beat that many great players in one tournament, I still would give it.
Super conspiracy theory, evil geniuses forced him to go to these tournaments because they're like, yo, PP, you're giving us no value for our sponsorship.
Is
And
this
PP
real?
said, I don't want to get a job, so okay.
He said
And he
super
did it.
conspiracy theory, so I don't think it's real.
And then PP was like, see, I went and I did bad, let me rest more. And then evil geniuses was like, okay, PP, go back to sleep. And that's my theory.
Is he not going to
Because he was never that like optimistic about any of these tournaments. It's just like, yeah, I'm just
Yeah.
going. We'll see how it goes.
Theo, do you have a newsletter that I can subscribe to? Like
Honestly.
the aliens, Big Foig aliens theory? That's just gold. Absolutely.
we should have a second podcast after Inner Game of Smash called the Inner Game of Theo. I would watch the shit out of that podcast.
Oh my god, that would be amazing.
It's just Theo talking about the crazy things that go on in his head for 45 minutes.
I think I'm just the only person who actually sees what's really happening in the world.
There's so many great Theo quotes. Like, I think I'm the best player at this tournament. I just can't prove it at every single tournament I've ever been to.
Oh, I wanna take a little bit of a flashback to our last topic of nervousness. This is one thing that we didn't cover that I think is really important to being a clutch player, right? There's those players that you think are just super duper duper clutch, right? Like, we all know them. I think the most important thing to being that clutch is to have an ego that's way too big to be healthy for you.
No. See, that's the thing, Howard. I do have an ego that's way too big to be healthy for me,
No,
but
you're,
I'm
like,
still not
humble.
clutch.
You make jokes at your own expense. You're way too humble. You need a bigger ego, PJ. You need to be way much more of a big jerk, like a way too puffed up. You need to be Gaston from the movie Gaston, which should have been named Gaston after
Should be.
Gaston.
Okay, but so that helps you win like that particular game, right? But when you have that big of an ego, you're taking so much less away from each set. So I don't know if that's a good like strat until you are like a top 3 player in the world. Unless you're like very, very good at turning it off and on. Because I think that helps me when I'm that like egotistical. But it's like a slow ramping process. Like it's 2 weeks of telling myself I'm the best thing ever, like every day, and then I'm like super hothead Theo. And then I go lick loose to infinite numbers anyway. And I'm like, God damn it, everyone sucks. I suck more. And then I'm super humble Theo for like 2 weeks. And
I think that's your problem. I think you need to be more insufferable.
yeah, I think I need to turn it off and on at will. But I don't know. That's like a super like large mental change. So maybe
Yeah.
I should like try and force myself to become schizophrenic, but
If you could listen
that
to those,
doesn't seem worth it.
listen to those motivational tapes that tell you that you're the best person ever, that hypnotize you to sleep every night.
But then that's too bad for actually learning, because when I'm that egotistical, I can't take things away from the set, because I'm not good enough to beat everyone ever.
I don't
yet.
think that's true though, because have you ever seen Mango's analysis videos?
They're
yeah.
great.
Who we all know has the biggest ego in the world, right? Like, no question. Is like, he looks at himself and is like, oh, I'm such a buster, right? Like, he says that like
Yeah.
10 times like during like a 1 minute clip of himself where he just rewinds. It's like, oh, that was so bad. Oh, that was so
Howard.
good, right? And he has a huge ego, so I don't think having a huge ego, as long as you're not stupid about it, can get in the way of learning. Should get in the way of learning. It's just hard. You need to be able to recognize when you have to be humble, but also like, just because you played bad doesn't mean that you're not the best.
That's true. That's
Theo just went through a personal breakthrough. The inner game of
I
Smash
am the
doesn't
best
matter
player.
anymore.
I just haven't. I just keep getting unlucky. It's
Yeah,
just
there
loops.
you go.
I keep
There
getting
you go.
cheese.
That's the mindset of a true champion.
That's
I'm not bad. I'm just unlucky.
But I can get even more better than everyone by studying what happened in those sets. In that, even though I was amazing and better than everyone in the world by a significant margin, I can double that margin. So I should still study.
Yeah,
That's going to be my new mindset. That works because that makes me egotistical, but we'll still learn, I think. If I can, I just have to think it enough until I believe it, and I'll be good.
That's what I think is the thing about me is what you said earlier, Howard, is you like some people can be incredibly egotistical, but still like in some places like be humble and recognize that they like didn't do well. That's I know that I try to be like slightly humble and like make like jokes about it, but I think I actually might be the person with the biggest ego in New England Melee. I think it's certainly possible, and I don't really see how that makes you better in the clutch.
You know what? What a secret, PJ?
What?
We all think that.
That's true.
No, I do think that having this unshakable faith that you're better than your opponent, and not only better than your opponent, that you're just amazing and so good. If that's like a core value you have in yourself, it may not be healthy for your relationships, but I think it's gonna help you win that game.
It's like Bonfire 10, dude.
But then you'll only have relationships with people that truly love you that much as well. So it's destined to like work, right?
Yeah, even narcissistic personality disorders have friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Theo, I'll be your friend.
Okay, thanks, PJ.
Through thick and
I can check that off my list of things to do before I die. Is have a friend.
things
Thanks,
to do
PJ.
before I eventually choke in my own narcissism.
It's better than choking away the set, am I right?
That's, I would much rather choke away my own
PJ,
narcissism
you
than a
beat.
set.
I didn't want to lose to you, but then you beat me.
Theo, this is how I feel every time we play. You think I go into the set going, Theo's a good player, he's better than me? Like, I understand. That never happens.
Oh,
I played a set with infinite numbers, and I was playing incredibly. Like, I was playing super amazingly, and
Yeah.
and it was like really close, and I lost game 3, and it was like a couple weeks ago. And infinite numbers, I recognize, is an amazing player. He's probably the smartest Ice Climbers players I've ever played, and I was still pissed. I was like, this guy sucks. How did I lose? Like. It's impossible, dude. Being humble, like in your core, when you play Melee, it doesn't exist.
well, when I was about to play you, I was thinking that, oh, well, at least this will be easy, because, like, I could rely on beating you. And then there's, like, a lot of people who are, like, bad, but, like, might beat me, because, I don't know. But you were not on that list at this moment, so I was, like, happy, but then you beat me anyway.
Rip.
Yeah.
It happens, dude.
Happens with Falco.
Why were so many Falcos? Like, I finally studied Marth matchup. Now Akari and Sora stopped showing up. And now everyone plays Falco. And I thought I knew the Falco matchup, but I guess not. Because
Do you get wrecked by Makari, Theo?
Yeah, well, I don't know. I, like, lose very close games or win very close games. So then in my memories, it's like I got 4-stock consistently. So, like, I've been working really hard at that.
I mean, like, overall set count. Like, does he actually beat you?
Like, not, like, lifetime, but in the past,
Overall set
I'm
count's
not sure
been
the
shitty,
exact
right?
set count. I think he's up in, like, this year, like 3-2 or something like that.
Like only the last 3 to 6 months matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, he's definitely up on me in the, like, current history. He beat me the last time we played. Yeah, so that's like a thing is it's so hard to know all the matchups in the game, right?
There's only like 6 viable characters too.
Hey,
Yeah, but
there's
you
at
play-
least 10.
Are
you
there?
play so differently against every single character. And, like, so that's something I've been doing recently is before each game, as I go through the mental plan of, like, oh, it's this character, so, I don't know, it's Falco, so what's my game plan? It's, like, run away a lot, so they do bad approaches, YOLO running shine, do good back airs, okay, got my game plan. And then go in and do that. But it's so different on every character, and you gotta play so different. So then maybe, like, I warmed up against Keith, he plays Sheik, and I don't play any Sheiks, but now I'm, like, thinking Sheik thoughts.
I think that
And-
that's a weird mentality because I'm the complete opposite. It's
Like
like,
you play Falco. Falco plays
Okay.
a single player game, right?
Calm
Like he doesn't
down.
even have to care about who the person that's on the screen.
that's not true.
Okay, it's a little bit of an exaggeration, but like it's way more true than a lot of characters. I think Fox has to play a lot more differently than Falco does.
I think at least as a Falco player, the way it works with me is that, of course, like if I play a good Samus, I'm probably gonna get destroyed because I've never played a Samus in my entire life. But like besides like exceptions like that and the Falco Ditto, I think that matchups like I do play different. Like if I play against a Puff, I'm playing completely differently than if I play against a Falcon. But I think the specific mindset for matchups, if you were I think actually I know everything Crush says has to be taken with like a handful of salt, not just a
Crush
grain.
knows what he's saying. He's a genius.
But one time, I think a Crush quote that I actually agreed with was like not completely because it's still a little like ridiculous, but it was like honest players like don't really have like great matchups and like horrible matchups, and I kind of like I think that if you are really a good player, that if you're playing well and you're like understanding the game, and it's not like something like you've just like never played this character, so you have like literally zero experience, or if you're like playing a Falco Ditto, which is the worst matchup in the game. It's like I think really you should be able to translate your play and your focus on the game to just like seamlessly go into whatever matchup you're playing.
Mm.
I agree with that. I mean, Melee is just so deep that there's never a way to simplify a matchup to the point where it's like more important than the player-to-player interaction. I don't think that's true for any matchup in the game.
And players have different styles. Like I think I've beaten Pete the last 4 times we've played, but I played Sora and it was like a completely different beast. And like
They're
people
opposites.
were like, "Oh, PJ's like good at the Marth matchup," and I was like, "I know I'm not," because it's just Melee. Literally every character can be played in so many
And you
different
might
ways.
be just good at the Pete matchup too, right?
Maybe
So
Pete's
like-
just bad at the PJ matchup.
And there's
like-
definitely player-to-player matchup things. I think that's something that affects me very heavily.
I think that it affects me against you, Howard.
Yeah, that's the flip side of that. For every good player matchup you have, the other guy is miserable.
So can you elaborate on that, Howard? Like, what do you mean by like the person-to-person matchup being
Well,
so?
I think, for example, that I'm going to use example that's pretty easy. Tien has overall probably a little better results than me. Probably considered to be a little better player than me. But when we play head-to-head, I feel like I definitely have a read on him a lot of the time. And I just know what he wants to do a lot of the time. And he doesn't have that on me. Like, it's a one-way read. And if you ever have a one-way read on someone, it's just... It doesn't matter if your objective skills are different. That one-way read will carry you so far. And that's something that happens a lot of the time. It is part of the skill in being good. I think Pedro Claps has built an entire career around this in a lot of ways. Like, first of all, he's mad good at Falcon. And second of all, he's just really good at figuring out what people want and reading people. So he's really good at being on the upwind side of that one-way street, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can figure out an opponent and kind of see what they want and know what they want even before they know that they want it, it's so easy to play them. Even if they're more technical than you, even if they're better than you. Like, have you ever seen Dreffen play Sheik? It's like he just down smashes the spot. It's like watching Bonfire play Sheik, but like
Oh
a
my
little
God.
old schooler, right?
Yeah.
He just down smashes in places, and then they get hit by it, right? You're like, why did that work? It's a terrible option. But it doesn't matter how risky your read is if it's right.
There's problems and solutions in that though, because I think at a local and regional level it works really well, and then like at like a national level it doesn't work. But then if you go even farther to the top level, it becomes important again because you're playing the same players in top 8, so you need to learn how to play against them. Like I think one I don't know, Theo's been kind of scrubbing it up lately, but back when Theo was like nice, there was somebody, I forget who it was, but somebody said, or it was in like Twitch chat. It was like Theo and Clap's like around the same skill level, but I think Theo would be a player that would do better at a national because he's like more like adaptable to like different play styles. When Claps is more, like you said, he based his career around just being able to destroy players that he knows.
So sets last 3 games, and this is a really important thing because there are so many interactions in Melee that you have so much time to figure out what an opponent's going to do. It's not a long game. It's only 5 minutes. But there's like, you probably press like 1,000 buttons in that time.
Yup,
Right?
yup.
Like, at least. PJ probably presses 5,000, right? And so you get to figure out when you're doing that much at that high intensity, you get to see who a person is. Like you get to see their personality, and you get to see what when they're scared, when they're not scared, how aggressive they are. And you won't see everything in that one game, but you'll see enough. And if you're really good at seeing the patterns that you've seen from other players, that might be you might have an archetype of a player that plays exactly like that person, or you might be or like even from different matchups, and kind of carry that over and be like, he's gonna jump here, or he's gonna want to roll here, he's gonna want to attack here, and you can kind of you just know, right? Like you can see the future sometimes.
Mm.
So even at nationals, I think that skill is super valuable.
But it's different, right? It's different than like reads you know of your local community compared to like being able to pick it up on the spot, which is what you were talking about. But
Yes.
yeah, so it's weird.
Yeah.
It's
So-
it's very stressful.
Besides Melee being super hard, which could literally be talked about for an eternity,
That's what the.
Because-
That's why we have this cast.
the inner game of Theo is coming on afterwards, so you can watch that.
Be absolutely sure to tune in. We're your executive producers, PJ and.
But I wanna talk a little bit about the New England representatives that are going to be at Pound.
Okay, I'm
What is-
going.
Are you
Yeah.
going?
Are you-
All right, so Theo
Yeah.
is guaranteed at least third in his pool. Just kidding, Theo. I think you're going to do amazing. But do we know who else is going? I think Matt Zeb recently
Yeah, I'm
dropped
pretty
out.
sure Matt. He did. Oh,
I know
think
Mafia
Mafia's
might not be able to go.
because like he's dead.
Yeah.
Kinda.
Shout outs to Mafia. Hang in there. We all love you. Don't die.
I think Tien's going. I think
Tian is
he's-
going. New Hampshire is going.
Is Slox
They
going?
are.
Yes.
Is Numbers going?
Numbers and I don't know about Numbers. I believe Numbers is going. I'm like 80% sure Numbers is going.
Yeah, it
Calvar
seems
is
like-
going.
Because this is like one of the best majors to go to as a New England person. It's basically it's besides New York ones, but the most recent Super Nebs got capped, so that was hard to get into.
I made a small joke about this, but I think it actually like isn't totally out of the realm of possibility. And it's that now that I know Slox is going, it's kind of out of the realm of possibility. But besides Slox, or even if Slox like really busters out for some reason, Infinite Numbers might be the highest placing New England player
I'd
at Pound.
not be surprised.
That would
Numbers is
actually
hella
that's
good.
like not even that unrealistic. 'cause,
Numbers is the kind of player that I could literally see him going to a national, and if he doesn't run into like really stupid shit,
Peach,
doing incredible.
like Peach.
Like Peach.
I think that Numbers is the second most likely person from New England to get to top 64.
If Mafia, do you count that if Mafia is going or if Mafia is not going?
Including if Mafia is going.
Ooh, Howard.
I'm not. That has nothing to do with their relative skill levels or anything like that. That's just all on the table. I think if I had to pick two people to get to top 64, it would be Slox and Numbers.
And is Connecticut going at all?
I assume Slox is going. I
Oh,
actually
well, besides Slox, yeah.
have not talked to Connecticut in a while, but Swift usually goes.
Shoutouts to Connecticut.
Yeah, shout out to Connecticut. We love you. Please keep coming to our tournaments.
I know you feel overshadowed by Massachusetts, but you're still better than we are, so it doesn't matter.
Hard truths. Hard truths.
It's alright, because we have Theo, and that's all. That's all a state needs.
Yeah, I'm going to. I think I have LOD in my pool. I think I can beat him. And then first in your pool, that's like straight shot to grand finals. So I think I got this.
Who can you beat in your pool? I sorry, I missed that.
LLOD.
Lod?
Oh, Wad?
Yeah,
Lod is hella good.
Yeah, a lot
yeah,
of
but he plays Peach. Peach
does.
sucks. So I got
And
this.
you are a Peach Slayer. Like, Lod is better than Mafia results wise, despite
Yeah.
having no punish game. It's amazing. He's like
Yeah.
Peach I want to be in.
I played him at Evo, and he's the only Peach I've played besides Mafia who could beat my Puff. So,
Why would
he's
you
pretty
not
good.
want to have a good punish game?
He just doesn't.
Howard,
not that
why would you not want to have a good punish game? Because you said that's what you want to
Oh,
do.
I want to play neutral like him.
Oh, alright.
So Lod is amazing. I thought Psy was in Lod's pool.
I saw that they changed them recently.
Oh,
Yeah,
Sai's
maybe.
going?
Psy is going.
Oh, well, he's the inevitable best player from New England. I
He
take it all
did
back.
super well at Big House, so I wouldn't be that
Sai?
surprised if he. Yeah, he. I forget who he beat. He beat a bunch of Michigan players.
Well, at Nebs he beat Beerman, And apparently it's like 6-0. For those of you that don't know, Beerman is the old school Falco player, who is now drunk all the time and hence Beerman.
He's also, I think he was lamb chops.
He was Lamb Chops.
Sometimes I forget which one's pork chops,
which
which one's
was-
lamb chops.
Aren't they the same? I don't know.
No, there's two different players. I think.
No, they changed my pool to be Captain Smuckers.
Dude,
That's so
you can
dumb.
beat Alex.
Yeah,
Alex
but
is
if I
gross.
beat him, I'll pop off, but then feel kind of bad.
That's okay
Nah.
though. But anyways, so yeah, Sai is hella good.
I think Sai is like the weirdest like conniption of a player that's the wrong word, but it's the weirdest like player that I've ever seen. Because there are some things where he's like really smart, but there are some things that I see in like a lot of like puffs that are like worse than him that he just like can't do. It's really interesting.
Like beat Peach.
Like beat Peach.
He's so bad at it. It makes no sense.
Because I think he has this idea in his mind that like he kind of wants to play stupid in some scenarios.
He
When it's
really
like
does.
when sometimes it's like if you just like made a conscious effort to try to like fix these things and stop trying to play stupid on purpose, I think Sai would be amazing.
I'm gonna
But-
go off on a huge tangent here, but I think Sai is the one and only archetype that I know of in New England Melee that fits the troll archetype. Like
Oh,
if
yeah.
he was a tarot card, he'd be the Joker, right? Like he's just there to make you feel bad. That's why he plays Melee. That's what I feel when I play him. I don't know if he would agree with this. When I watch him play, it's like, dude, you're just doing this to infuriate your opponent, aren't you?
When you play it, it seems like he doesn't care. It seems like he's just like, I just want to do something that will be funny.
Yeah, he's just like laughing on the inside. You know it, right? Like he's
Yeah.
laughing all the way to the bank.
And then sometimes he has like the stoic like focusing face while he's like doing something on screen, but sometimes he has the sigh shit eating grin face. And it's like I feel like they might mean the same thing. He's such an interesting person.
All right. On that note, that just about wraps it up from our show. Do you guys have any final thoughts or shoutouts you'd like to make?
Shoutouts to Theo for losing to me and then not giving me the momentum I needed to actually do
You had
well.
such a free bracket too.
I did.
Like,
I could have gone third. I literally could have gone third, and I screwed it up so
You all
hard.
have gotten third. Yesterday was kind of free.
It what?
Yeah, no one showed up.
How do you play against Pikachu? That's my
I-
question.
I
My
persist-
shout out is to Pikachu for
Shout outs
making
to
no
Bonk
sense.
Cushy. Just
You
to
just
Bonk
spam back air.
Cushy. For
Shouts to Bonkachi.
didn't he actually get fifth or something?
He did.
Yeah.
His highest tournament placing, and New England's notable Pikachu.
Yeah, Bonkashi's nice.
Oh, welcome back, Sai. We see you in the chat. We were just talking about you.
Sai, I'm always thinking about you. Don't you worry your pretty little head.
The only person he loves more than you, Sai, is Q-Puff.
It's Cuba, yeah. And Squibble's third.
Yeah.
Not
Shoutouts to the biggest of foigs for messing me up in bracket yesterday.
huge boy.
Huge, so big.
Yeah, you got any
Shoutouts
shoutouts?
to Shik for doing tasty burger orders.
Oh, I
Yeah.
forgot. Shout out to Shik Shik. That was the best part of my night. That tasty
Yeah,
burger
it's
was
awesome.
so good.
Have you
I
guys
hope he
ever
keeps doing it.
Tasty Burger?
What'd you say?
Like, have you guys never gone to Tasty Burger? Every Tuesday, I went there when it was still at Osaka, and I went there and I just eat like a burger and like gravy fries. Amazing.
It's way better delivered because you don't have to go to this weird faraway place.
Harvard Square.
I've had Tasty
So
Burger
fun.
one time before this, and I don't know, it was like before a concert or something, and I remember it being really good, but I don't remember it being as like
It's so-
mouth-wateringly delicious as it was last night.
It's like for the price, it's amazing.
I think it's less expensive than Five Guys, right?
Oh, Five Guys is awful. How does anyone like Five Guys?
How do you? I love.
I
Five
like Fi Guys.
Oh,
All right. After the inner game of Theo, we're gonna have the inner game of fast food, which is gonna be our post show. So tune in for that.
it's okay to have opinions, but just don't be like.
Five Guys is nice, dude. Chill.
Oh man.
Alright,
Yeah, that's
our,
what you guys didn't know about Tasty Burger.
Our shout outs.
Yeah, I think. All right, we're good. That's it from us. We'll see you next week at the same time.
No viewer question?
No viewer questions.
Oh, roasted. All right. Good night, dude. It's been a pleasure.
Bye.